Well, for the first time in almost 35 years, the Menendez brothers have a chance at freedom.
Today, the LA County District Attorney made the stunning announcement he will ask a judge to resentence Lyle and Erik Menendez, and with time served, that could mean their release. And
KCAL News reporter Tom Wade is here to explain it all.
Yeah, Pat, the hearing is actually tomorrow. There won't be any decision, of course, tomorrow, but Gascón is saying he didn't make the decision about whether to recommend resentencing until today. So it came very close there. So Gascón says there was not consensus in his office over this decision. He says some of his prosecutors may even take the opposing side in court. But Gascón says after reviewing the case files, he supports the brothers' bid for freedom.
I believe that they have paid their debt to society.
LA County DA George Gascón delivering a message the Menendez brothers have waited almost 35 years to hear. Gascón saying he is going to ask a judge for resentencing, which could ultimately set Lyle and Erik Menendez free.
We're going to recommend to the court that the life without the possibility of parole be removed and that they will be sentenced for murder, which, because there are 2 murders involved, that will be 50 years to life. However, because of their age, under the law, since they were under 26 years of age at the time that these crimes occurred, they will be eligible for parole immediately.
Joining Gascón for the announcement, Menendez family members who support Lyle and Erik's quest for freedom.
This step gives us all hope that the truth will finally be heard and that Lyle and Erik can begin to heal from the trauma of their past.
Gascón's decision comes as 2 new critical pieces of evidence were recently made public, which the Menendez family says proves Erik and Lyle were sexually abused and was the motive for the murders of their parents, Kitty and Jose. First, a letter written by Erik to his cousin before the murders describing the abuse. And a former member of the band Menudo, Roy Rosello, has come forward also claiming Jose Menendez sexually abused him. Rosello appeared in a documentary on Peacock.
Yo estuve una semana con un dolor terrible.
Whether this new evidence will be enough to convince a judge to set the brothers on a path to freedom is still uncertain. LA attorney Trey Lovell.
It's going to be interesting because I would assume the judge is going to go along with it, but not always. As a judge, they are sitting over thousands of cases like this with murderers, with heinous acts. And it's not going to be lost on the judge what happened to the parents.
The brothers also have a second option that could lead to their freedom.
What is interesting is they have another hearing set for November 26th on the petition for writ of habeas corpus, which is based, to seek a new trial based on this new evidence. So that could be granted as well. And now we're on 2 different tracks. If they were granted a new trial, the district attorney could elect not to do it.
Gascón's opponent in the upcoming election, Nathan Hochman, says he can't say whether he agrees with Gascón's decision to ask for resentencing because he doesn't have access to all of the case files and information. But Hochman is questioning why Gascón waited until now to make this announcement.
The timing of that decision is incredibly suspicious. If George Gascón believed that resentencing process should have started, he could have started it 8 to 16 months ago, and the Menendez brothers would have benefited from it starting so much longer ago.
Asked if his decision on the Menendez case is political, Gascón says no.
There's nothing political about this. We have resentenced over 300 people, including 28 for murder, and we will continue to resentence people in the future.
So tomorrow, the DA's office will go before a judge, submit their arguments and evidence. The judge will review the information and likely set a date within the next 2 months or so when he or she could announce a decision based on what this judge reviews.
Okay, so, and even if the judge, let's say he sides with what the prosecution says, or what George Gascón has said, so he agrees with that, it still has to go to a parole board.
Exactly.
They have to make a review, so we're talking probably next year, if anything, right?
That's what it's looking like, unless there's some sort of expedited process that we don't know about, but that would be the estimation.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Tom.